Hey, welcome to the Tom and Josh Show. I'm Josh. This is Tom. All right, we're going to transition into a new segment for the Tom and Josh Show. We're going to make some game picks, and we're going with the spread. Okay, so we're going to be making these picks based on who we believe will cover the spread. And so it's not necessarily a win-lose. We'll talk about some of our outlier picks. After the fact, but let's do a quick rundown here of who we're picking this week. All right, so all of these spreads are as of last night, so that would have been the 25th. Obviously, we talked about the Lazard COVID thing, and there's going to be certain injuries that may have affected some of these spreads since announcing this, but I'm going to go ahead and run through some of these. All right, so I'm going to run through the list, and then we'll talk about some of our differing picks. All right. So we have Green Bay at Arizona. The spread is Arizona minus 3.5. Josh has Arizona. Tom has Green Bay.
I'm starting to maybe rethink that with the Lazard news, and not that Lazard shouldn't be the guy.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
There's one to begin with.
Sure.
But.
Yeah, just a very high-powered Arizona offense, and as diehard of a Green Bay fan as I am, I'm scared for that one. No
faith in our boys.
Shame. Next game.
Yeah, I've got Green Bay. Yeah. We'll see.
We will see. Next game, we have Carolina at Atlanta. Atlanta at -3. I've got Atlanta. Tom's got Carolina. So go ahead. You got something?
Yeah, we're splitting the difference once again. I don't know. I don't love Atlanta in general, so I was a little surprised to see them favored. I know they're at home, but I kind of think Carolina can take this outright.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, Atlanta is a scary team to bet for.
Yeah.
Right? I just, Carolina, they benched Darnold this week. And I guess McCaffrey's coming back, or should be coming back, right? It's just such a muddy situation. They haven't been one of those teams that at the beginning of the year, I thought Carolina was going to be this really, really good team. Atlanta obviously has not been that really, really good team. I'm just going Atlanta, at least to cover.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Pitts has been looking great.
He's been on the up and up for sure. Started the season off a little slow, but then picked it up in London, of all places.
Yeah. Next game, we got Miami at Buffalo. We got Buffalo by 13.5. We both have Buffalo.
I can't believe that.
I don't know if there's much to say here.
It's effectively a 2-touchdown spread. And we're both unanimously saying, yeah, that's going to happen. That's wild, right?
Yeah.
So, Buffalo is just one of those teams right now whose offense is so dangerous that, 14 points feels like nothing here.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
All right.
Up next, San Francisco at Chicago. We match again. We both got San Francisco. And they're in a 3.5-point favorite here. Chicago's just been bad. We've talked a lot about Chicago today, and as objective fantasy football fans, like they just haven't been good. So I don't know how you can watch Sunday's Bears game and feel okay.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, San Francisco has a really good defensive line. And Chicago has a really bad offensive line. And I just think that, as soon as you get into Justin Fields trying to throw the ball again, I just, part of me thinks that we're in for another barnstorm there. So the next game we got is Pittsburgh at Cleveland. This one's tricky, but, we got Cleveland at -3.5. We both got Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it was... I was a little surprised that we both had Pittsburgh. I think coming off the bye, I'm hoping that they're just like a little healthier. Big Ben has a little more time to be rested and come out here and cover this spread against Cleveland.
For sure. In Cleveland, right, all the question marks are around Baker Mayfield. And so it's one of those things that, 3.5, I just, who knows? Case Keenum is one of the best backups you could have.
Yeah, agreed.
Especially for the offense, but they're hurt in other places, right? They're leaning on Dearness Johnson right now. So I'm going Pittsburgh here. I just think that it's going to be too much. So the next game, we got Philadelphia at Detroit. Philadelphia minus 3.5. Neither of us have faith that Philadelphia is going to hold that up. We both have Detroit. Are we fools?
I don't know. Are we? Maybe we're just. Are you? We're Packers fans. Are you kind of hopeful that Detroit gets a win here?
Everybody's hopeful that Detroit finally wins a game, right? Like Goff's not a bad guy. I'm hoping that Goff pulls out a win here for his sake.
This feels like one of the more likable and competitive defeated teams that I feel like we've ever come across.
Sure.
So
yeah,
if they're going to get a win, it feels like it's going to be this game against a struggling Philly team or maybe the Bears down the line.
Yeah. So next game, Tennessee at Indianapolis. This one's pretty much a push, right? So it's Tennessee by 0.5 point.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think so. Right now, I have Indianapolis. You've got Tennessee. We'll see. Right.
I'm riding the Derrick Henry train. It's his world, and we're just living in it. So
he is wild. Threw a touchdown pass last week.
The man does it all.
He does it all, right? Man. Yeah, I was watching that game in San Francisco where Indianapolis, it was literally a bomb cyclone. Okay, where that was such a hard game to watch, and Indianapolis had a really hard time stopping Elijah Mitchell, especially in that first half, right? No matter who was chasing after him, it just looked like he was just kind of slowly weaving through guys. I'm a little scared for my pick, right? But eventually Indy pulled it out and beat San Fran. They pulled it together after all. So I think that they pull it out. Okay.
They're scrappy.
Yeah. Is it bad maybe that I'm saying, oh, well, they covered Elijah Mitchell, so therefore they'll be able to cover Derrick Henry? Yeah, probably. And I'm probably going to eat these words next week. But, that's a tough team.
Yeah. Up next, Cincinnati against the Jets. And it's Cincinnati by 10. We talked about streaming Cincinnati's defense, and I think a lot of the same sentiments echo here. We've both got Cincinnati. That feels like an easy one.
If we're willing to take Buffalo at 13.5, not right. Like this feels like a game. 10 points is that's a lock as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And 13.5, not even the biggest spread, because up next we've got the Rams at Houston, and the Rams are favored by 14. 2 touchdowns is a lot for a team to cover. I've got the Rams anyway. I think Houston's just that bad, and I'm rocking with the Rams. You've got
I've got Houston.
What do you thinking?
Tyrod Taylor. I think he's coming back. He's practicing this week. If he starts again, Houston's at home. It's his first game back. I don't think there's any way that he lets the game get that out of hand where it's a 14-point spread. So, I don't think Houston wins. I think they cover the spread.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah. Tyrod Taylor definitely makes them a lot more of a serviceable NFL team than Dave Smith. So,
credit where credit's due, right? He did a job. All right, so we got New England at the Chargers. We both have the Chargers at minus 5.5. New England just put up 50-plus points against the Jets, right? But right, so we're not necessarily saying New England's got this high-powered offense after that game, but I think the Chargers coming off of their bye are ready and willing to put up at least a touchdown over the Patriots.
Yeah, Yeah, you never feel good going against a Belichick team necessarily, but you're right. Rested, bye-weeked. This feels like a game that the Chargers are going to come out very prepared for, and in my opinion, win this by at least a touchdown.
Yeah.
So next we have Jacksonville at Seattle. Seattle is favored by 3. We're both picking Seattle despite the Geno Smith woes that we have talked about.
And I've thought about this. Was one that I thought, is this the week that Jacksonville pulls something off? I just don't know.
Yeah, this is like one of the ones I feel like I could flip back on the easiest. I'm sticking with Seattle, but if Jacksonville wins this game outright, like, I don't think either of us would be surprised.
I don't think we'd be shocked. Yeah, no, we wouldn't be shocked. This could be one that we both get wrong, and we'd be like, well, told you so. Right? We told you we would be wrong, yeah.
Right.
So next we've got Washington at Denver. We both have Washington, even though Denver is -3. I'm not confident in Denver's offense. Their defense is also something that I'm not confident in. As good Denver's defense was really, really good earlier this year, and they've not been really since. Washington has also been the same, I guess. So, Tom, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I just believe that Washington's defense is better than that they've played.
Sure.
This team has not, expectations be what they may. I don't think they've lived up to what like an average Washington fan or even just like an NFL fan would say that you would have thought they have been. Antonio Gibson he's playing, but he's got that shin injury that's kind of lingering. Even still, I'm still going with Washington.
Yeah, and that Washington defense again. I've mentioned this in previous shows, right? I picked them up. I thought they were going to be better. They're bottom 30 of the league. I also picked Gibson in I think all of my leagues, and here we are. That's not really panning out because
I've got him in some.
So
yeah.
So next we've got Tampa Bay versus New Orleans. Nice rivalry game here, right? Tampa Bay -4-5. Obviously, Brady coming off of that 600th passing touchdown. That was a cool moment, by the way. Quick break, right? Like where Mike Evans gives the ball away to the fan. The fan works out some quick negotiation with whoever showed up to be like, hey, I need that ball back.
Equipment
Did
manager.
you see the haul that he got out of all that?
So it didn't look good until I heard that he'd also got 1 Bitcoin.
Oh, did he really?
They threw that in. Tom Brady added a Bitcoin to it. So that's north of 60 grand at the moment.
Right off the bat, right? Yeah, it's 60 grand, and then it's, when you said it was a 60 grand, maybe it hit 50 when I said it, but jumped up. But yeah, how cool. And all of this stuff, and maybe Tom Brady, I was watching a different show, and it was saying, hey, what if Tom Brady takes this guy out to lunch, right? Or something like that. And that's not something that this guy could ever put a price on. And just such a cool thing. I don't, if you were that fan, any thoughts about trying to keep that ball?
It's easy to say, but I don't know. I didn't going into this game know that Brady was at 599 touchdowns. So getting like a touchdown ball is not like a super unusual occurrence. But I've seen people say as soon as he got that, he should have just ran out of left his information and ran out of the stadium.
Yeah.
Make a deal later. That's easy to say, and then you see the valuations on what that could have gone for.
It was
$500,000.
Some auction house said $500,000.
Right. So I don't know. I like to think that I that I would have been I'm running and taking the money later, but that's so tough.
There's no way that I would have been able to pull that off, right? Honestly, the first thing that went through my mind as I was, I didn't get the game here, but the first thing that went through my mind as I watched that replay, I was like, that guy's going to get mugged immediately. Right? Like, how is that? Even in the front row, I was like, how is that guy going to hold on to that ball for the remainder of this game if he doesn't take off and run like you said? I think, in my mind, there was no brainer to give the ball back. Just because, like, if I don't, I'm getting held up. Right? So you might lose it.
Yeah.
So anyway, take us home with the last two.
Did we ever say our picks for that?
We both took Tampa Bay. We talked about Tampa Bay long enough. I thought
we both took Tampa Bay. Yeah. We both took Tampa Bay. So next game, second to last, Dallas at Minnesota. Dallas is favored by 2. We both got Dallas. I think this is kind of a no-brainer, and I'm a little surprised at this spread. I thought it would have been a little more favoring Dallas. So I'm definitely going with them this week. What do you think?
Yeah. Their defense has been surprising, right? You've got Diggs on that, in that corner, who's just like, seems like every game he's at least intercepting one pass, maybe returning it for a touchdown, maybe getting a second interception. I just don't see how Dallas doesn't win this game. Now, Minnesota obviously has some good offensive weapons and could make this into a game, but I don't think it's decided by less than a touchdown. So, especially less than a field goal, right?
Agreed.
-2, yeah.
That surprised me. Yeah.
Last one.
Final game. We got Giants at KC. It's KC by 9.5. We both picked the Giants. This would have been blasphemous to say.
It might still be
a mere week ago. But yeah, right. It might still be, and it might come out looking that way after this game. But I don't think we're crazy for taking the Giants here. Kansas City's just struggled that much. So Giants, let's go. Let's do it.
Giants are a weirdly stingy defense too. Kind of one of those offenses that you look at and you say, nah. Right? That's not really anybody that I want to do. Right? So it's not a team that we would have picked to win outright, but against a 9.5 point spread, you've got a relatively stingy defense. Cripes, you got Daniel Jones catching one-handed passes like he's Odell Beckham along the sideline. So I think the Giants cover the spread here, and Kansas City probably still pulls out the win, rights their ship a little bit in terms of getting the win. But against the spread, I'm taking the Giants.
Yeah, I like it. So we'll be tracking our wins and losses here. We'll have to come up with some kind of a wager for here on out for the rest of the year, and maybe settle something up at the end. We'll
discuss it. So. We'll discuss it. I'm thinking $100, but we'll get to it. As time goes on. So.